All right, let's watch some of these videos, man. Let's take a look at what happened with these kids. Let's take a look at what happened with these kids getting bombed. I mean, it's crazy. We have another situation where Israel seems to have targeted civilians and a group of children specifically. In this situation, apparently you had civilians who were looking for water and they were told in a controlled area. So this is in an IOF controlled area. The Israeli occupation force, their military is under control and telling the civilians what to do. They told these 7 children to go get water at a water pump. And then moments later, as they're there fetching water, they were struck by a drone apparently and killed 7 children gathering to get water. So let's take a look at this video. Another war crime to add to the list that the state of Israel is committing against Palestinian people here. Oh, you know something? Let's take a look at this first. This is going to play this second, but we're going to do it like this. This is how it was reported in Western media. Okay, this is from NBC. You'll notice the stark contrast between this and the following video reports that I'll show you. Let's take a look at some of these other reports. What do we have here? Okay, so we're going to watch at the bottom here. Okay, here we go.
Pools of blood mark where the children were standing when the Israeli drone struck. They had been fetching water at these communal taps. This is Al-Mawasi, a barren strip of land in southwest Gaza, and the site of tens of thousands of tents housing families forced from their homes in the past 22 months.
Now, I know that what we saw in the NBC report is from the hospital. It's a different point of view, but as you can see already, it's amped up quite a few levels when you see things for what they are here. Now, listen to this guy here.
These were children who were getting water, just kids. Look at this. See what they attacked. They attacked children, not fugitives. This is all what they had with them, nothing else. Are these what they consider to be missiles? They're children, for God's sake.
It's about a 6-kilometer drive from here to the only functional healthcare facility nearby, and the medics are rushing to save as many of these children.
And he said functional. In another report that I talk about, the Nasser Hospital recent attack, the double tap attack there, the doctor, from the ICU, he says how Nasser Hospital has been attacked 4 times and occupied twice throughout the conflict. So when he says functional there, he really means it. Every single hospital has been leveled, which in of itself, each one is an individual war crime. Each individual strike on a hospital is a war crime.
Children as possible. The emergency room at Nasser Hospital is packed. Doctors start with the most severely injured, checking for signs of life. There's anguish from a father whose son needs help.
Prepare yourself. Like I just said, already we're seeing, in comparison to the Western coverage, the NBC coverage, and thank God we get Al Jazeera here in the West, right? But this is not what's played on repeat, and it's not what MAGA is watching, and it's not what all the people that are still supporting this and giving their silent consent are watching. But already the contrast is stark compared to the NBC coverage, and I have to prepare everyone because there's a rough moment here. And if you don't want to see something that might bother you, don't look.
Help that will come too late. A boy tugs at his younger brother's arm. Locked in a mother's embrace, wishing they could turn back time. Michael Apple, Al Jazeera.
Let's check out what the Young Turks have to say about this. Let me grab my notes here. Jank and Anna are steadfast critics of the crimes going on in Palestine, and they've given some of the best reporting on this issue, really, in any media at all. And Anna is straight G. So let's check this out. I'll cue this up.
Pools of blood mark where the children were standing when the Israeli drones struck. They had been fetching water at these communal taps.
These were children who were getting water, just kids. Look at this. See what they attacked. They attacked children, not fugitives. This is all what they had with them, nothing else. Are these what they consider to be missiles? They're children, for God's sake.
You guys already saw that clip, right? I mean, but we got to let that play again. It's only appropriate. The weight of this is beyond real for these people. These people are just being exterminated right in front of us. I read something the other day that was saying how it's a classroom full of children that die every day in Gaza.
It's a classroom full of children that die every day in Gaza.
And they just killed 7 kids in one strike. Those words shouldn't even go together. While they're merely trying to get water so they don't die of thirst. And that's literal. We should be appalled and disgusted and shamed on ourselves that we haven't done anything yet, that we've allowed this to happen. Shame on our leaders for being so bought and paid for. Let's listen to what Anna has to say to this.
Well, Israel has not let up on its slaughter of Palestinians in Gaza, including children, of course, with yet another Israeli airstrike that killed 7 children and 6 adults yesterday. And that's according to the director of nursing at Nasser Hospital. You know, the hospital that was reportedly hit with an Israeli double tap. But it turns out, after reviewing the footage, Israel had bombed that hospital 4 separate times in a short period of time.
Yeah, forgot about the double tap. And real quick on that, I'm going to put a clip in here of live footage of when that strike happened. So this is footage from the Nasser Hospital complex attack. I believe it was the second strike. So this is the second. This is literally the double tap. Although in that situation, as she said, it was proven to be 4 strikes. I had clipped this for a piece that I did on the topic and never got to use it, so perfect, we'll throw it in here. Check out that video about that attack, and it was a really good interview from an ICU doctor who works at the hospital. So let's let Anna talk here.
Anyway, the victims were all located in Al-Mawasi, which Israel had identified and declared a safe zone for the Palestinians. But since the start of this genocide, the IDF has intentionally targeted Palestinians, specifically in areas Palestinians were told to evacuate to for safety. In fact, I want you to watch this video dating back to October of 2023 when I brought this up on the PVD podcast.
Now, this is so great. I'm glad that she played this video, and she's right about her point that tactics like this have long been a thing for the IOF, right? Long been their policy. This is a playbook that they've been using. However, this discussion is so key for right now because it highlights the progression that has happened and the precedents that have been set along the way as Israel has become more and more brutal in almost perfecting the scheme and plans and carrying out the plans of genocide.
We all saw the story about the hospital that was bombed by Israel. How could you do this? How could you kill innocent civilians? The New York Times basically is now retracting their statement. Yeah, it turns out it was the Islamic Jihad with a failed rocket. I can assure you of this.
Hold on.
Nobody
that is not definitive, number one.
Yeah, it's still not.
That is not definitive,
Even the Wall Street Journal came out and said.
That is one example. Even if I give you that argument and it is proven without any doubt that it was Hamas that did that, that is one incident in a situation where 1.1 million Palestinians are being told to evacuate their homes. As they're being evacuated to the part of the Gaza Strip where they're gonna be safe, that area gets bombed.
Yep.
Okay.
So let me ask you a very direct question. Do you think Israel wants to kill innocent civilians?
I do.
You think Israel genuinely wants to?
I do.
What evidence do you have of that?
The evidence is they are refusing to do special operations and instead are relying on bombing areas where they know civilians are at, and then they'll turn around and say, well, Hamas is using them as human shield.
So you see how the story is going from, on his hand, complete denial that they would attack a civilian or take out a hospital. Now it's to the point that every single hospital in the Gaza Strip has been flattened, along with every other piece of civilian infrastructure. Literally 88% of the Gaza Strip has been turned into rubble as far as its municipal infrastructure and buildings. Okay? This is a complete reversal of a policy. So you guys go, and as far as targeting civilians go, he wanted to avoid the fact that it's obvious that they're targeting civilians, right? Now it's come to the point that I think the majority of the Israeli public is okay with Palestinians being killed. They almost look at them as like a subhuman class. This is ethnic cleansing to the fullest extent possible. And what we've seen is the policy go from, well, we've seen the slow creep and the slippery slope and the continual march of a set of precedents that has escalated the situation into full-blown genocide right in front of our eyes. And that clip right there is a perfect example of how far you can come in 2 years.
So the proof was in the pudding pretty early on. It's just that some of us have been paying attention and won't fall victim to lies and gaslighting by the Israeli government. It's that.
Facts. It's that simple. I'll give you that, Anna. So there we go.
So today, the starvation total reached 367 people, and 131 of them are children. So Israel now, the current government of Israel, has starved to death 131 kids. They have killed over 20,000 children overall. And today they told them, hey, come here for water, because now human rights organizations are saying we're going beyond starvation. We now have a thirst problem in Gaza where people are in danger of dying from not having water to drink, okay? That is how brutal this disgusting, sick, terrorist government of Israel is today. And so I mean, it doesn't get any more obvious of collective punishment than starving people to death. So this is a monstrous government, and everyone supporting it at this late date is obviously a monster who's pro-genocide.
Yep. So this is at the point where I just don't know. It's to me, it's inhumanly, it's unconscionable to somehow think that I could be able to sit here, watch the game, scroll on my phone, frankly give a fuck about anything else. The only thing that I say Americans should care more about this is what Trump is doing, the way he's trouncing and violating laws and norms back here domestically. I mean, are you kidding me? With what he's doing, federalizing all these agencies and violating states' rights and violating our rights. Apparently now he thinks that he can play judge, jury, and executioner on the international stage and just, strike a boat of people off of the coast of South America and call them Venezuelan terrorists with no other, saying they're running drugs. Okay, that's cool, but what are you doing? Turks destroying the boat. That's another video and another topic that I'm going to make pretty soon. But like, these are the only other things that are of the same ilk, right? How can we sit by? How can we enjoy any of the comforts that we have? But how can we sit here and just be ignorant to all this? These people are dying day by day from starvation, victims of Israeli aggression. 7 kids going for water. I'm just not the type of man that can sit here, keep my mouth shut, or not do anything, seeing women and children be brutalized and murdered. Nor, you could throw men in there as well. I'm the type of person who's going to stand up for what's right, and stand up for people being bullied. As in America here, it's time that we open our eyes to this. We're the sole country that's allowing this to happen. Literally, without our UN vote, none of this could be happening. Literally, the entire world has voted in favor of Palestine, in favor of interdicting in this, forming a force. All this is being held up because of us, hopefully not for too much longer. But these things reflect on the reality of the situation. As an American, we should be standing up for not just the people of Palestine, but the people of America here for us. These same tactics will be used on us, and we should be standing up and stopping our corrupt government from going this far and doing all these things in our name. Really damning our future and our fate for us and our children. And we're just sitting here, like, I don't even know what. Where's everybody at? Are we distracted? Do we care? Like, what's up? This don't bother you? I don't know. I'm not. This has been tough, man. I'm just gonna try to keep making stuff, and hopefully there's some of you out there can get this, share it to other people so they can see it and open their eyes. I think the boomer population is a large block. I think in general, a block that's a problem here in America as far as, say, dealing with something like Palestine, or throwing off the Jewish influence and, lobbying and AIPAC influence. I don't know. It's like anyone watching mainstream news, really is a problem at this point. They have an inability. They're really well brainwashed, and they just can't get out of that box, man. They like it. They line up at the feeder, and they like it. They like being told what to think. It's sick. Sick, man. Wake up, America. Prayers for the people in Palestine. Free Palestine. Prayers to the Samud flotilla. Check out an article I just wrote on my Substack about that. And till next time, peace.